fellow citizens, our way of life, our very freedom came under attack in a series of deliberate and deadly terrorist acts.
A new dawn in America. This morning, the most powerful country in the world woke up to an almost unbearable reality.
I want to reassure the American people that the full resources of the federal government are working to assist local authorities to save lives and to help the victims of these attacks. The resolve of our great nation is being tested. But make no mistake, we will show the world that we will pass this test.
The terrorist attacks have struck at the heart of Fortress America and also at the heart of democracy.
These acts of mass murder were intended to frighten our nation into chaos and retreat. But they have failed. Our country is strong. Freedom will be defended.
The only thing that's going on now is to make sure that we have the right targets.
The United States will hunt down and punish those responsible for these cowardly acts. A great people has been moved to defend a great nation. Terrorist attacks can shake the foundations of our biggest buildings, but they cannot touch the foundation of America. These acts shatter steel, but they cannot dent the steel of American resolve. America was targeted for attack because we're the brightest beacon for freedom and opportunity in the world, and no one will keep that light from shining. Today our nation saw evil, the very worst of human nature, and we responded with the best of America. With the daring of our rescue workers, with the caring of the strangers and neighbors who came to give blood, help and evil. Immediately following the first attack,
American and British troops are in action on land, sea, and in the air.
At this hour, American and coalition forces are in the early stages of military operations to disarm Iraq, to free its people, and to defend the world from grave danger.
Tonight, British servicemen and women are engaged from air, land, and sea. Their mission? To remove Saddam Hussein from power and disarm Iraq of its weapons of mass destruction.
It is a war, and we've got to respond in the sense that it isn't going to be solved with a single counterattack against one individual. It's going to be a long-term conflict.
The Americans warn it is just a taste of things to come.
When you go to war through the back door, you're more likely to have the wars last longer and not have a completion of the war.
And our forces will be coming home as soon as their work is done.
Afghanistan's Taliban government has said revenge is understandable, but it says only once America has proof of who was behind the hijackings. The American president has promised to punish the perpetrators of terror.
We will stay on task until we've achieved our objective, which is to rid Iraq of weapons of mass destruction and free the Iraqi people so they can live in a society that is hopeful and democratic and at peace in this neighborhood. Either you're with us, either you love freedom and with nations which embrace freedom, or you're with the enemy. There's no in between. You're either with us or you're with the enemy. That's clear. I will continue to make that clear.
Iraqis pulling down the statue of Saddam Hussein. It had happened with breathtaking speed less than a month after the U.S.-led invasion.
Zarqawi masterminded his first major outrage. A truck packed with explosives was parked outside the United Nations headquarters in Baghdad. It exploded.
Over 100 people are wounded and 22 killed, including this man, the Secretary General's Special Representative in Iraq, Sergio Vieira de Mello.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Today is a great day for the Iraqi people and for the coalition.
And now the former dictator of Iraq will face the justice he denied to millions.
The spider hole's entrance was camouflaged with bricks and dirt. After uncovering the spider hole, a search was conducted and Saddam Hussein was found hiding at the bottom of the hole.
And the threat of Saddam Hussein was a unique threat in this sense. The world recognized he was a threat for 12 years.
The chapter of Iraq's history that was filled with Saddam Hussein's reign of terror is now closed forever.
Prison scandal in Iraq was a serious blow to the reputation of the United States. Top U.S. officials insisted that until the photos of Iraqi prisoners became public in 2004, they were unaware of the seriousness of the scandal.
It breaks our hearts that in fact someone didn't say, wait, look, this is terrible.
Imam al-Janabi says there was so much abuse at Abu Ghraib prison, he can't even pick himself out in the endless, humiliating photos.
This is a clear case of abuse on the part of our soldiers.
The suit lays out 20 charges from torture to war crimes to sexual assault and battery.
What wasn't proceeding along fine is the fact that the president didn't know, and you didn't know, and I didn't know.
The actual cables show that Rumsfeld and his aides and Wolfowitz and his aides and the director of the Joint Staff, all these senior people in the Pentagon were getting very detailed. They didn't see the photographs, they were getting verbal accounts of the photographs that made it very clear. It was taken very seriously within days from the top to bottom of the government.
Al-Janabi says he will never forget the faces of his torturers.
In great numbers and under great risk, Iraqis have shown their commitment to democracy. By participating in free elections, the Iraqi people have firmly rejected the anti-democratic ideology of the terrorists.
Iraqis turned out in large numbers for their country's first democratic election in 50 years. More than 60% of the Iraqis voted. Turnout, as it was expected in Sunni areas, was lower.
When the polling stations were open, the fight was joined, and it was an extraordinary thing to witness. It was a privilege to witness.